The battle for control of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, reached a breaking point yesterday when loyalists of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, forcefully took over the party's National Secretariat, Wadata Plaza, in Abuja. The dramatic move occurred in the presence, or in the absence rather, of PDP governors and members of the National Working Committee loyal to the party's embattled National Chairman Umar Damagum, led by Abdulrahman Mohammed, who declared himself acting national chairman. The Wike-backed faction occupied the Secretariat, citing the need to heal the party of its wounds and end factionalization. The incident comes amid intensifying disputes over party control, unresolved South-South leadership crisis, and microzoning controversies ahead of the now-suspended National Convention, originally slated for November 15th to 16th in Ibadan.
Recall that over the weekend, the Damagum-led working committee, through the National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba, announced the suspension of National Secretary Senator Samuel Anyanwu and other key officials over alleged anti-party activities. And this was followed by a counter-move by Anyanwu speaking for the Mohammed-led faction, announcing the suspension of Damagum and others, citing alleged financial mismanagement and incompetence. As tension mounts, PDP governors led by Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State and Seyi Makinde of Oyo State are reportedly strategizing to reclaim control of the party from Wike's camp. With all of this drama, joining us to discuss this is PDP chieftain here in Lagos State. We do have Mr. Adetokunbo Pearse live with us here in the studio. Well, welcome, and thank you so much for coming here, possibly to build the cat, we hope, on the issues that are indeed bedeviling the PDP, a party you hold so dear to your heart. I'm sure Benga is edging to drop the first bomb.
Yes, Dr. Pearse, thank you so much for honoring our invitation and coming here this morning to discuss what many have described as a crisis in the People's Democratic Party. The outgoing, the latest DCAMP Governor Duru, described the PDP as a sinking ship. I wonder if you agree with him or not. Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court, in his ruling, has halted at the PDP's National Convention in Ibadan. The PDP's Secretariat was sealed off by police yesterday following an attempted violent takeover. What's really going on within the party? And what do you make of comments by Governor Duru saying that the PDP is a sinking ship?
I'm glad that we have an opportunity such as this to talk to the Nigerian people so they understand what is going on. Governor Duru says PDP is a sinking ship. Governor Duru is the captain of the ship. And when the ship was sinking, he jumped out. What does that tell you? That is what is going on with these our governors. Irresponsible, disgraceful, shameful. Let him understand that it is a sinking ship, as far as he is concerned. Your ship is sinking, you are the captain of the ship, you jumped out. That's his irresponsibility. You should be court-martialed for that. Now, as to the issue of the PDP convention, our convention is going to hold on the 15th and the 16th of November in Ibadan, Oyo State. Because Omotosho's judgment did not banish the convention, he put a pause to it. He said, fulfill all righteousness and go on with the convention. He cannot ban the convention because the convention has already been sanctioned by the proper authority. The INEC came and supervised all our meetings, which led to the convention. Now, we also have appealed his judgment. So while the appeal is on, we continue with our convention. Look, this convention is not about the PDP. It's about democracy and the access of Nigerians to voting, having access to deciding their destiny. If you ban a PDP from having its convention so that it will not survive to have an elected convention, a presidential primaries next year, what have you done to Nigeria? You have deprived Nigerians of an alternative to decide who they want to govern them. It will not happen. It will not happen. We are going to have a convention. We are not going to...
So your confidence is in the appeal and the courts, or in your party members, shooting swords coming together?
No. I will
resolve the
talk about the
crisis?
shooting sword eventually. There is no convention where you don't have controversy. What you have in our party now is a group of dissidents who have rebelled against the party. These 4 people who have said now they've made their own faction and they've appointed their own chairman.
Abdulrahman Mohammed.
Yes.
And others.
By the way, 4 of them, the National Working Committee of the party, which controls the activities of the party, has decided, there are 18 members, 14 of them have decided that Anyanwu will be under suspension, Bature, the National Organizing Secretary, will be under suspension, 30 days. The legal secretary will be under suspension, and his deputy under suspension. Now, these 4 people who have been suspended by their own committee of 18 members, 14 of them said now they're suspending the 14. It's a joke, it's a travesty, it's just media hype, it doesn't mean anything. They said they took over the party. Look, some of them are committing criminal activity, they don't realize it. Anyanwu went, I understand, that he burst into the chairman's office. How can you break into it? I mean, are you thugs or politicians or leaders of the... Can you imagine these people calling themselves leaders in this country, behaving like animals in the zoo? So this is where we are. So it is not a question of reconciliation with people who have decided to rebel, elected convention, presidential primaries next year. What have you done to Nigeria? You have deprived Nigerians of an alternative to decide who they want to govern them. It will not happen. It will not happen. We are going to have a convention. We are not going to...
So your confidence is in the appeal and the courts? Or in your party members, shooting swords coming together?
No. I will talk about the shooting sword eventually. There is no convention where you don't have controversy. What you have in our party now is a group of dissidents who have rebelled against the party. These 4 people who have said now they've made their own faction and they've appointed their own chairman.
Abdulrahman Mohammed.
Yes.
And others.
By the way, 4 of them, the National Working Committee of the party, which controls the activities of the party, has decided, there are 18 members, 14 of them have decided that Anyanwu will be under suspension, Bature, the National Organizing Secretary, will be under suspension, 30 days. The legal secretary will be under suspension, and his deputy under suspension. Now, these 4 people who have been suspended by their own committee of 18 members, 14 of them said now they're suspending the 14. It's a joke, it's a travesty, it's just media hype, it doesn't mean anything. They said they took over the party. Look, some of them are committing criminal activity, they don't realize it. Anyanwu went, I understand, that he burst into the chairman's office. How can you break into it? I mean, are you thugs or politicians or leaders of the... Can you imagine these people calling themselves leaders in this country, behaving like animals in the zoo? So this is where we are. So it is not a question of reconciliation with people who have decided to rebel, and congresses were duly held in most of the 14. The only areas where you have a problem, in Kebbi, in Plateau, and Cross River, they did not have, listen to this, state congresses, but they had ward congresses, they had local government area congresses. In those 2 congresses, you have produced more than enough delegates to the convention. The law says if you are able to get 2/3 of your delegates to your convention, you can hold a convention.
All right, let's hold that.
We have more than 2/3 of our delegates from those 3 states. You understand me? Because from the ward, from the LGA, you have national delegates who will go to the convention. You have all the LGA chairmen going to the convention. You have statutory delegates going to the convention. All of them are in place, even in those areas where we had some issues.
All right, let's
even
pause
there.
for a bit. We have to go on a break. There are still other areas that we need to expand, especially regarding the 21-day notice that the court highlighted, and we'll be touching on that when we return from the break. To Breakfast Central, we're still looking at the latest drama and crisis that seem to have unfolded at the PDP yesterday. We're joined by PDP chieftain Adetokunbo Pearse. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. Before we went on the break, we're talking about some of the issues that Justice Omotosho had listed, and you were bringing clarity to them. Let's talk about the 21-day notice issue.
You know, I hate to say it, but Omotosho has a very bad reputation as an APC judge. All of these things are
that's
so...
a very grave allegation.
He has a reputation.
Of the Federation.
He has a bad reputation.
What's your evidence? What evidence?
I'm saying reputation. That's what people say about him, rightly or wrongly. But his performance here shows that he's a very questionable character. What is the meaning of 21 days? If we did not have 21 days notice, all this time we've been talking about our convention, it's not been 21 days notice. We have given the INEC more than 21 days notice. That is why they approved the Congress. That is why they approved the convention. So that issue doesn't, it is totally irrelevant. It is erroneous. I don't know where all of this is coming from. But you know, the genesis of all of this is this. The National Working Committee of the PDP is empowered to organize the party's activities at all levels in every chapter. When Minister Wike decided that he was going to have his own Congress in the South-South, after the term of that Congress had expired, by the way, that Congress in the South-South that expired earlier this year, I was the president, I was the chairman of that South-South Congress, which brought in Dan Obi as chairman and George Turner as secretary. I was the chairman of that Congress. All the South-South governors were there. We were hosted by this same Wike. That's when everything was fine with us. So that is the way you do it. For me to be a member of that Congress Committee for South-South, I was appointed by the National Working Committee, so were all the members who conducted the Congress. After their term expired, Wike decided on his own to conduct the Congress without authorization from the National Working Committee. When he did that, the National Committee said, we have rejected the Congress because you don't have authority. By the way, how did you get the papers you used for the Congress? Now, you know how he got the papers? The secretary of the party, Anyanwu, who is his man, without authorization from the National Working Committee, on his own now sent him the paper to go and do the Congress. That is the genesis of where we are now. So where we are now, all these people saying we don't agree with this, we don't agree with that, the places where Anyanwu and Co are saying, and Wike are saying, we didn't have congresses, what happened? We have set up caretaker committees there. We have nullified their own Congress, and they have refused to accept the ruling of the National Working Committee. That's what's going on now. Just as Wike is attacking us with his lack of respect for the law from outside, taking the law into his own hands from the outside, Anyanwu is leading the charge from within, or those four are leading the charge from within. So those four now have been suspended, so that Wike's activities now have been curtailed. But that is the genesis of the problem.
Also now involved.
Yeah, but I want to ask you, I mean, we've gone back and forth on this. What's the way forward, especially now that everything is looking unclear? Because the cloud, it's cloudy now for the PDP, and it's cloudy because you have factions now, and they're going at each other head to head.
The factions, this is the faction. Let me tell you, if it wasn't for the deep respect for democracy and law and order, those 4 factions, they should be in detention somewhere. I mean, look, you have 14 people, you have a committee, okay, of 18. 14 have gone one way, 4 are going the other way. That rebellion is negligible. It doesn't mean anything. By the way, the North Central Vice Chairman, Abdullah, who is now assuming the position of National Chairman, was one of the signatories, one of the 14 who signed the suspension of those 4. You know, now he too will be under suspension. But this is what is going on in PDP.
Just before we...
Way forward.
Oh, okay.
The way forward is this. We are going to have a convention. If perchance, at the end of it all, you know, we're ready. We have a convention. We have all our offices in place. Now, if we have to go to court to defend that, we will. But nothing is, look, if you see me and I tell you that there is nothing really wrong in the party, that we don't have the kind of problem, they try, the APC government, Wike working for the APC government, Tinubu's government, they're doing everything to derail every single party. We are the only ones standing, and we are the strongest party. And they know that
you put your house in order?
Our house is in order.
Why did you let them
Our
derail
house is in order. There are people trying to derail us. We are not going to be derailed. I have told you, Diri's expression is a good example. The ship is sinking. You jump out of the ship. By the way, when you jump out of that ship, you jump into the water, you commit suicide, you kill yourself. Why don't you try to even save the ship? Anyway, we are going ahead. The people, Nigerians, are looking forward to an opportunity to vote for a party of their choice. If PDP is not on the ticket, that will be the end of democracy in Nigeria. It will not happen. I want you to be optimistic, to believe me when I tell you that nothing is going to... Do you realize what the PDP is? 80% of all the people who have been presidents, vice presidents, governors, ambassadors, ministers, they are all members of the PDP. Even the people who are in... Let me tell you, PDP, the word is just a vehicle. What is going to happen? What do you think will happen if we don't have a presidential candidate? It doesn't matter. Bala Tinubu will not return as president of this country in 2027, whether it's PDP or no PDP. And the PDP is there to stay because that is the voice of the people. We are the party of restructuring Nigeria. We started it with Jonathan and the 2014 confab. And it was derailed because Buhari came in and said he want to see it. We are going to present another president who will carry out the recommendations of that confab and restructure Nigeria for economic progress and better security in 2027.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adetokunbo Pearse. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Yes. And we'll continue to monitor the news cycle, follow events, and hopefully...
And after the convention, or during the convention, we'd like to have you again. It's 11 days to go, and then we can get feedback after that. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.